We finally have it. Official news about The Elder Scrolls 6 has surfaced online thanks to a recent interview with Todd Howard, and it's possible that the release of this game, just like Oblivion, will catch us by surprise. Sony has published a financial report in which they revealed the exact sales figures for Ghost of Tsushima, as well as a lot more information. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was overlooked in the Grammy nominations. And additionally, Take-Two and Rockstar Games may have lost tens of millions of dollars due to the recent delay. Remember to subscribe to the channel. So let's just get started. The Elder Scrolls 6 is basically a game that everyone is talking about, but in reality, no one has actually seen it yet, except of course for the teaser that was released to us in 2018, where the camera simply flew over the mountains. Even back then, we were told that the project would be developed as soon as Starfield was ready. Years have passed, Starfield has launched, it is what it is, but where is the Elder Scrolls after all? So, how does it turn out? On the occasion of Fallout 4's 10th anniversary, Todd Howard decided to take part in an interview for GQ magazine and shared a bit about the production itself. Interestingly, Todd Howard, almost anticipating the questions, pointed out right at the beginning of the conversation that The Elder Scrolls 6 is still far from being finished. He therefore asks players to be patient, and although hundreds of people are currently working on the Fallout series, including various Fallout 76 and other projects, The Elder Scrolls 6 remains a daily focus at the studio. Howard revealed that Bethesda has just conducted major playtests for Test 6. Another key topic was the potential release date and format. Naturally, during the entire conversation, there was a question about the release of Oblivion, because, let's be honest, it happened quite suddenly, hence the question of whether The Elder Scrolls 6 will be released in the same way. And here, Howard did not deny that the release could indeed take the form of a shadow drop. He admitted that his ideal scenario is that the game just appears out of nowhere one day. And as for the topic of Oblivion, he added that the unexpected release of that game was considered a test within the whole company, and interestingly, it was successful. The thing is, we're not dealing here with a remastered version of a game we played years ago. Here, we have something completely new in the 888 category. So in my opinion, a longer marketing campaign would definitely bring better results. Not only for the studio itself, but of course for the game as well. We'll just have to wait and see. Let's move on. Sony has released its financial report for the second quarter of the 2025 fiscal year, from which, among other things, we can finally learn the official sales figures for Gozo JT after 32 days since its release. Because let's be honest, people have been wondering what the sales difference is between Gozo Tsushima and JT, and now we can finally find out, because according to this official report, 3.3 million copies have been sold since the release. For comparison, Ghost of Tsushima reached almost 2.5 million players in just 3 days, and after only 4 months, the game surpassed the threshold of 5 million copies sold. As for PlayStation 5 sales themselves, the console has now surpassed the PlayStation 3 in terms of total units sold, and according to data up to September 30th, 2025, a total of 84.2 million PlayStation 5 units have already been shipped worldwide. And it's undeniable that this result is very impressive, especially considering that recently the prices of both PlayStation 5 models were raised in the United States, where I assume sales are among the highest. And interestingly, the PlayStation 3 has been surpassed, but there's still a bit to go before catching up to the PlayStation 4, because the total number of PlayStation 5 units sold at this stage is 2 million less than what the PlayStation 4 achieved in the same period. So I bet that in the next fiscal year, we'll find out that the PlayStation 4 has also been surpassed. Sony also presented details regarding player activity and the market, where the PlayStation Network currently records 119 million active users per month, which is an increase of 3 million compared to the previous year. The financial report also mentioned the production of Marathon by Bungie Studio, where Sony once again confirmed that the game is scheduled to be released by March 2026. And interestingly, Sony's fiscal year ends precisely during that period, so this might suggest that the release will likely be in February or in March itself. But that's not all when it comes to PlayStation and Sony, because a state of play has been announced, and interestingly, it's the Japan version, which will take place today at 11 PM. This event is mainly dedicated to productions from Japan as well as other Asian countries, so I wouldn't expect any major Western titles here. There is a chance, however, that they might show more from Resident Evil Requiem. And I also bet there will be something from Final Fantasy, as well as Marvel Token Fighting Souls, for example, since after all, it's a fighting game being developed in Japan by Arc System Works. As for the duration, it's the usual 40 minutes. The Grammy Award is one of the most prestigious honors in the music world. It's kind of like the Oscars, but for musicians. It is awarded annually by the American organization Recording Academy, and on June 9th, 2022, the Grammys introduced a category for Best Score Soundtrack for video games, recognizing composers who create soundtracks on par with those in films. The first person to win this award was Stephanie Economou for the music to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dawn of Ragnarok. In 2024, a duo won for the soundtrack to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and in 2025, the music for Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord took the prize. And I'm telling you this because the nominations for the 2026 games have finally been announced, and there's one title missing that, in my opinion, absolutely should have been included and could even have won. Anyway, among the nominees is Pinar Toprak for the music to Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, specifically for the Secrets of the Spires expansion. There's also Wilbert Roget II for the music to Helldivers 2, Gordy Haab for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the duo Cody Matthew Johnson and Wilbert Roget II for Star Wars Outlaws, specifically for the Wildcard and the Pirate's Fortune expansions, as well as Austin Wintory for Sword of the Sea. And if you've played Expeditions 33, you might be wondering, hey, where is Soundphone Interactive with their absolutely amazing soundtracks? People are asking these questions online, but it's worth mentioning that it's not just players who are surprised, one of the nominees is as well. Specifically, I'm talking about Austin Wintory, who wrote, "Congratulations to my friends and thanks to the Academy for including Sword of the Sea among the games for 2026. However, I'm sad that Expedition 33 wasn't among the nominees. I would gladly trade places. That soundtrack is the epitome of what deserves recognition." Unfortunately, the nominations have already been announced, so Lorien Testart, the person responsible for the soundtrack, doesn't really have a chance at a Game Award anymore. However, the composer was recognized elsewhere, specifically at the World Soundtrack Awards, where he received the award for Best Game Music. So it's a shame that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 was robbed of a Game Award, but unfortunately, that's just how it is. Let's move on. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed by another 6 months. And even though the release date has been set for November 19th, 2026, and players, whether they like it or not, had to accept this fact, because after all, everyone knows well that Rockstar aims to deliver us, the players, the best possible product. The thing is, for Take-Two, this decision comes with very specific and serious financial consequences. Because, as reported by Tom Henderson on Insider Gaming, the delay is expected to cost Take-Two and Rockstar as much as $60 million. The well-known insider cites information from developers and estimates that each additional month of work costs the company another $10 million. He emphasizes that, when factoring in additional costs, the total amount could potentially rise to as much as $100 million. But hey, even $60 million is already a huge sum. And according to sources like Kiwi Talks, this is simply about reaching content complete, that is, finishing the story and all the content. These 6 months are absolutely necessary and will be fully dedicated to polishing and bug fixing. That's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next episodes.